Now we talk about my team winning a championship. Your team is playing for a championship. We're talking about the Lakers against the Heat. Of course, we got there with the Lakers beating your Nuggets.
That wasn't really a surprise.
Also, we were making a joke earlier. You weren't paying attention. I said, at least I'm not like Tyler, because I said 2002 was that. Yeah. I'm just saying you bring it up a lot.
I like the Nuggets promise moving forward. They got good young core and stuff. So that's pretty good. But yeah, I mean,
the Lakers they were too good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the floor is Brandon's.
That's too much.
Well, before we get to the Heat part, did you see everybody talks about LeBron's serious face? Like he was just sitting in the middle of the court with the post-game celebration. And then they paralleled it with Kobe when he did the same thing, where he wasn't happy like everybody else was. He's like, well, we still got a championship to win. The job's not done. And I asked that because I said it before, and it really feels like the Lakers are playing for more. They're playing for Kobe, I feel like.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty special run. Thing. They were already, there was a lot of people who already thought, including me, that thought they would win the championship this year before all that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then, stuff with Kobe happens and then the season gets shut down. They've come back with these Mamba jerseys. I think they're undefeated still, wearing those Mamba jerseys. I mean, there's something about this year for the Lakers.
And it's definitely got that storybook feeling that sports has. Like it's one of those things that it just feels like
for either team really though.
It's a driving thing
for either team though, because Jimmy Butler's been the outcast.
Oh my gosh.
On so many teams, just getting booted out. Nobody wants him. He finally finds a place where he's appreciated, and now look where he's the best player on the team that's playing in the NBA Finals after everyone thought he was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So. Either whoever wins, it'd be pretty nice story for either one.
There's good storylines, for both teams, and that's really what makes a great championship, series and stuff is the storylines. So that's good. Sometimes it can be kind of boring. Not this time.
And then you also add in not just the Kobe aspect, but everything that's gone on with social justice and civil unrest, and to have LeBron being that voice that he is.
And he's been that voice for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. And to see him in, I would say, one of the most important NBA finals in the history of the sport, just because of everything that's happened with the pandemic and then the bubble. And then they were talking about this with the Lightning last night when they said that it's already hard enough to win in these kind of environments, to go play 82 games and then win 16 to be a champion. But it just seems harder now because of the bubbles and being in the situation they're in, And to see the Lakers do that, get all the way to the finals and fight with that, and then with the Heat, like you were saying with Jimmy Butler, and just this Heat team is just tenacious. They're nasty.
Right. Yeah.
So what you've seen so far heading into the finals, how do you feel about the Heat and their chances?
I mean, I think they have a puncher's chance. I mean, I think they're a little outmanned. The Lakers have the two best players on the court at all times. They will with Davis and LeBron. But I think, the Heat can win this series if they shoot the lights out, which they are more than capable of doing as one of the best. I think they were second this year in three-point shooting, and they've been a top three-point shooting team in the playoffs as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be the difference, because I don't see them being able to stop LeBron or AD consistently. They do have great defensive players, but those guys are just on another level.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think it'll be an interesting series to watch, and we'll see how well the Heat can shoot the ball. I think that'll be pretty much the deciding factor on whether this is a good series or not.
Originally, we were going to call Paul because Brandon's Heat took care of his team. And pretty handedly, I have to say. I mean, it was 6 games, but I think there's just times when I looked at how the Heat played, just this run, and they have been dominant. They've only lost 2 playoff games, right?
3.
3, okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because they had only lost 2 coming into the Game 5. But I'm just thoroughly impressed. I do agree with you, though, of it's the same thing with the Nuggets, with the Lakers, where the Nuggets played well and earned their spot. They took out the Clippers. Nobody expected that.
Awesome.
But, they'd already done a 3-1 comeback.
Yeah, that's too much.
But yeah, there's just too much talent for the Lakers, and I feel like that might be the scenario in the finals. But I'm not counting the Heat out at all.
No, I don't think I don't think you can. I don't
No,
expect
the way
it to
that
be,
they have played, no way.
I think they'll find a way to win one, maybe 2 at least.
I think it's actually really good for the Heat that it is in the bubble because, games in LA at the Staples Center, especially this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if it was a normal year and stuff, that would be a rough place.
That would have been
not
hard
saying
enough.
not saying at all that the Heat fans don't have. I mean, clearly they're they got good fans down there too. But
I think the old people that were leaving the game when LeBron was there.
I think that
that.
because there aren't any fans in attendance, I think that takes away an edge that the Lakers might have had in a normal year.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the
slight edge just for the games that would have been played in LA.
Well, and that's why I think these bubble championships will be harder because they don't have the emotion and the momentum of having a live crowd.
I don't know about emotion, man.
The Lakers are playing with a lot of emotion, and I would agree.
Yeah, both teams.
Jimmy Butler's playing like man possessed.
He makes his own. Problems and scenarios.
Stew.
Just how Michael Jordan would do stuff. Jimmy Butler does the same. He makes his own slights. He makes. He finds his own way to get
makes up
to
shit.
get
He
excited
plays
for games.
angry. He has a huge chip on his shoulder, and it's because of that narrative of he's toxic, he's the problem, and he finally found a team that embraces who he is,
that wants him to be like that.
Yeah, and wants him to be nasty and mean because that is what this team plays like. Like I was saying, they're bullies, man. They are physical, and that is how they've won games. Is they've just been out muscling teams.
Yep.
I will say for the first time in a while. Well, that's not true. I guess I was excited for last year's finals, but I am more locked in than I've ever been in the finals. This is going to be so much fun just to see these two teams duke it out. And who knows? I don't know if it'll go 7, but I definitely think it'll go 6.
Yeah. Well, I hate to...
Because I think the depth's just going to eventually catch up to the Heat.
I already said it earlier, but to be really honest, there are some awesome storylines in this whole finals. There's just a lot. LeBron having played and won championships for the Heat. Is one of them, that.
Oh yeah, playing his former.
I think that might
teams.
be overlooked a little bit, and it won't be overlooked for long. But just there's storylines upon storylines upon storylines, and that's gonna make it. I really believe that you're gonna see both teams just put everything out on the floor, and it's probably gonna be one of the best finals ever. I think just because of the way both teams are playing and everything else, just. It's all or nothing, boys. It's all or nothing. I think that's what they're saying to each other is hey, guys, it's all or nothing, guys. Let's go out there and do it.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'm trying to find the text that Paul said about after the Heat won. It was because there was a rumor floating around that the Lakers wanted to play the Heat, and Paul said, "Yeah, the Lakers got what they wanted. My tears." We're sorry, buddy. Paul actually will be coming back next week. So this is Tyler's last show until draft season because he is our draft expert.
Yeah, I haven't reached guru level yet. But I haven't reached Mel Kiper Jr. money. That's what I'm looking for.
We'll still say we're sorry, Paul, that the Heat beat your team. Well, Brandon isn't.
I don't know that.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Really.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm that sorry either.
All right. Let's move on. Actually, before we do, Doc Rivers, that whole storyline of him leaving the Clippers, they said it was like a mutual separation, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's speculation of where he'll end up. There's talks of Phoenix. There's I think I saw the Pelicans was another one that they were talking about.
Pelicans, Philly.
Philly, yeah.
So
I don't know about where he's going to end up. I'm surprised he didn't just retire, to be honest.
It's so surprising that he left L.A. That's still the most surprising thing about that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder there must be. I wonder why. Like, what was the reason?
There's got to be some stuff. There's got to be some stuff behind the scenes that, I mean, you heard, who was it? Paul George. You heard what he said is, like, I don't think at any point we were in, desperation, like win now mode. And it's like, why not? You guys are only together for like a year or two.
Yeah,
and like
you don't get.
Why would you say that?
Him and Kawhi, if you weren't in it.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you even say that? Like, I think there's some stuff going on behind the scenes in the Clippers locker room that we may never know about, but that caused all of this.
Well, how else can a team that good blow a 3 at one?
Because the Nuggets are awesome.
There's got to be. I agree. I think there is some turmoil, and I think the way that it wasn't even an announcement.
Everybody's trying
to be. It was leaked by Woj.
Right. Everybody's trying to be hush-hush and like very
So then they were forced to make a statement about it once
it's
Woj
personal
got
reasons.
the scoops.
That's it. Thank you. No comment.
My dog's barking. You might hear it.
Cooper's got a comment or two.
Yeah. Loudmouth. It is surprised. I don't know where he's going to end up. I don't think he'll be in Philly. I do like what you said about Phoenix. I could see that, especially with how they played at the end of the season in the bubble. It would be interesting to take that young talent and do it. But
are we going to do our finals predictions?
Well, I think the Lakers will win in 6. I think it'll be a hard-fought series, but I have the Lakers winning. I think we all do, don't we? Or he'll probably pick the Heat, but.
I gotta say Lakers, but I think it's gonna be 7 games. I think again it's
7.
I think it's gonna be one of the best games ever. It's gonna come down to 3-on-3, all or nothing, game 7. It's gonna be awesome. I'm not a huge NBA fan. I always pay attention when the playoffs and the finals are happening. But I might actually watch this just because it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good.
Yeah,
Brandon.
I mean,
you don't have to make the homer pick, but you can if you want.
Yeah, I don't really want to pick because I don't think that the Heat. Yeah. I don't think the Heat will be able to win.
Your analyst hat says no. Your fan hat says yes.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's going to come down to if Miami can shoot the ball really well for 4 games out of the 7, they'll have a chance.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I don't know if they can outmuscle the Lakers. That's the thing.
Yeah. Right. I mean, Miami's a little undersized.
Yeah.
Bam can play, but the Lakers are huge, so it's completely contrasting styles going at it. So we'll see which one wins out. I think the Lakers will win as well. But
I hate picking games with my favorite team involved because you always know who I'm going to pick, and you have to do that again this week when we do primetime picks.
Would I like to see the Heat win? Hell yeah.
Oh, of course.
But I
think it'll be.
I also know, as just a casual fan, not having any stake in this or dog in this fight, that the Lakers winning the championship the year that Kobe we lost him that's kind of too good to be too good to be true. But
I think that's why it's good for the league because
that would be like the ultimate storyline. I think.
A lot of us would like to see both teams win. So I think it's a win for the league because it'll be a fun series to watch because you could root for both teams.
Can we both get trophies?
I just want both teams to have a good time. So let's move on to